You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, the ARMA community is expressing concerns about recent changes to their fire department programs.
Also, authorities have launched an investigation into the injuries a woman sustained while in jail.
And after clouds clear out today, we are going to have a fantastic weekend.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney, and it's 7 o'clock on Friday morning.
Yes.
I mean, you've been talking about it all day. We love all week. We love Friday. We're so excited for Friday. Even though it's not my Friday, it's still, Friday is just, I think, the best day of the week.
Absolutely.
Minus Saturday and Sunday.
Yes, happy to be here. Happy that you're joining us. Switching gears over to the city of Arma, the Arma fire chief is responding to community concerns that the fire department is discontinuing 2 of their firefighter programs.
KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more.
My concern there was if we didn't have that, what kind of impact would that have?
Melissa Rhodes, like many other Arma residents, saw an anonymous Facebook post that said the Arma Fire Department will be discontinuing 2 of their programs.
They're our first responders in our community, whether they're junior firefighters or firefighters, whether it's a health, it's a heart attack, it's a fire.
The programs in question are the Sleep-In program and the Junior Firefighter program.
Have that training ground for them, and that's such a boost for our community, for our school district.
The Junior Firefighter program offers training for young people interested in being a firefighter, and the Sleep-In program allows for quick responses to overnight emergencies in Arma.
Sleeping here, so when calls do come out, it's your responsibility to, head that way.
Our station is basically your home. You can watch TV, work on a computer, and then go to bed at night. And if we get a call in the middle of the night, you get up, or a medical call, you get up in the middle of the night and you go to that call.
The Arma fire chief responds to claims the program is ending and says both of these programs are not going anywhere.
The living program still is going on. We've got some people that are moving out because they got jobs, so we're still looking for new people.
Rhodes says finding out these programs will stay in place is a relief.
If I had an emergency, if there's something wrong with my 95-year-old mother, I can call 911, and I know that someone from the fire department is going to be there within less than 5 minutes. I know that because that's my experience.
And she says these fire department programs increase safety for the Arma community.
That's a great security to have, especially for a small rural community.
Reporting in Arma, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
The fire chief says people interested in either program can come to the Arma Fire Department to learn more about joining.
Well, I love that. That's awesome.
Absolutely. It's important to have those programs. And even though it appears that those people might not have understood that the programs weren't going away, it's great to see that the community cares about the programs and that they're still available to people who want to join.
Oh, I agree. I agree. Another thing that I think people will care about is the weather, of course.
Yes.
The beautiful weather actually that we're going to see this weekend. We can go ahead, take a look outside, and we'll see most of the area lifting fog, looking pretty good now. Sun starting to rise, but we still are dealing with those overcast skies, and that's going to continue through most of the day. Temperatures are in the mid to lower 40s. Still got that overcast. Winds are starting to shift out of the west, and we're also seeing winds gusting up to 15 to 20 miles per hour through the morning, and then increasing as we head into this evening. 20 to 25 miles per hour, even getting up to 30 miles per hour in some areas. This is early afternoon, about 1, 2, 3 p.m. And then starting to die down as we head into 7 p.m. You can see winds still on the east, gusting up to 30 miles per hour. Central and western counties dying down 15-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Now, we are still seeing a little isolated shower pushing through further south in the west, but overall, most of us are dealing with the overcast skies. That's going to continue. Winds do pick up, and temperatures warm right back up to the mid-40s today, getting into the upper 40s and even low 50s across the area. But we are heading into a really great weekend, 60-degree weather, and I'm going to have a full forecast coming up.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation is looking into the injury of an inmate at the Ottawa County Jail. The Sheriff's Department says on January 22nd, a woman was transported to the Miami Integris Hospital by ambulance from her home in Miami for a possible overdose. And we're not using the woman's name because she is not charged with a crime. While at the hospital, the woman reportedly became aggressive with the medical staff. Miami police officers arrested her on probable cause for battery of a medical professional. The Sheriff's Department says when the woman arrived at the jail, she was unable to walk without assistance due to what appeared to be symptoms of intoxication and at times acted aggressively towards jail staff. Authorities say she was not placed into general population and was kept where jailers could observe her on video. And they say she was taken back to the hospital for treatment after striking her head on the floor. Then brought back to the jail on January 23rd, where she was placed in a holding cell by herself. Now, they say over the weekend she was watched and nothing appeared to change with her condition. Then on Monday of this week, the woman appeared in court with injuries that included 2 black eyes. In a news release, Sheriff David Dean says, quote, "It was reported to me on Monday that the woman may have been seriously injured while detained in the Ottawa County Jail. My office has begun a preliminary investigation into the matter. At this time, it does not appear that any person assaulted her." Now, at the sheriff's request, the OSBI is investigating this case, and the district attorney's office has dismissed the criminal charges against the woman, saying it does not appear she was able to form a criminal intent at the hospital. And those are our top news stories coming up this half hour. Residents in Wichita are still in shock after a passenger jet collided with a military helicopter. We'll have the latest from Washington, D.C. And later, a couple of pickleball players are being hailed as heroes after their quick actions saved a man from cardiac arrest. You're watching KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Well, topping Nation Watch this morning, it's been nearly a week since the Trump administration ordered a 90-day freeze of almost all foreign aid. On top, creating confusion about which activities are impacted. Now, sources say the suspension means some aid contractors are not being paid for work they've already done, and that could mean significant furloughs of staff. There is also concern other nations like China may step in to fill the void during the 90-day freeze. Well, fake content from AI could be swaying more American teenagers online. A study from Common Sense Media shows about 35% of teenagers from 13 to 18 years old say they have been deceived by some type of fake content online. According to the study, nearly half of teens surveyed don't trust tech companies to responsibly monitor AI. They advocate for tech companies to take measures to protect users such as themselves. Kansas leaders and people in the community in shock after learning there were no survivors in a deadly plane crash 2 nights ago. 64 people were on the American Airlines flight from Wichita to D.C. Fox's Olivia Calmes is in Wichita with more.
The city of Wichita is in mourning. It's sobering to continue to hear more details come out in this investigation. Today in City Hall, the governor of Kansas, along with the Wichita mayor, spoke today saying that this is heartbreaking. It now ties them to D.C. in this tragic story forever, but there is a message of hope.
Tragedies like this remind us that we are one community. Whether a Wichitan, a Kansan, or an American, we are one community. And in times of struggle, we do come together in grief and sadness to lift one another. Wichita is stronger because we are together.
This route usually takes about 2.5 hours. A Wichita airport official today saying that flight left Wichita, Kansas with no issues. There were a couple prayer services today. Faith leaders spoke, including a longtime local pastor here who says he went to the airport last night and was able to comfort a family who's lost someone in the crash.
I had a chance to talk to them about our hope is that the Lord is with our loved ones on the flights, in the waters, and even on into eternity, because he never leaves us nor forsakes us.
American Airlines has not released a full list of the names of the passengers involved in the crash, but U.S. Figure Skating did confirm that several in their group were on the flight. In Wichita, Kansas, Oliviana Kelmes, Fox News.
And those are our top national stories this morning. Now let's check in with Lindsay for a quick look at your forecast.
Well, you can see out in downtown Pittsburgh, still visibility is slightly lower, but not really disrupting traffic. Overcast skies do continue. Temperatures are in the mid to lower 40s right now and going to warm up to the upper 40s, low 50s today. And the sun starts to clear. Sun starts to break out a little bit later on this afternoon, but really not going to be mostly sunny today at all. But as we head into the weekend, clouds do clear. Now we are also seeing winds picking up today, gusting 15 to 20 miles per hour through the morning, strengthening 25 to 30 miles per hour later on this afternoon, and that's going to continue until this evening. Around 7 p.m. is when winds start to die down, though they'll pick right back up Saturday morning. But like I said, this weekend is going to be a fantastic weekend, sunny and temperatures in the 60s, but I'm going to have a full forecast coming up. Well, taking a look downtown Pittsburgh, you can see sun starting to come up and you have a bit better visibility out there, though still a little hazy, a little foggy out there, but again, visibility is up to about 8 miles, so not so bad. Now winds are starting to pick up, gusting 15 to 20 miles per hour through the morning hours, and then heading into this afternoon about 2 p.m. you can see gusting 25 to 30 miles per hour, especially out on the western counties, and then continuing to strengthen throughout the rest of the afternoon, but dying down by about 7 p.m., only gusting 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now, we're expecting this little shower to be continuing to push further south, but it's really out there, Chautauqua, Elk counties, not really making it into our higher populated areas, but we are still seeing overcast skies for the entire area. So starting off this morning, about 43, 44 degrees, overcast, winds out of the west, northwest, and gusting up to 20 miles per hour. Heading out to this afternoon, the clouds are going to start to break up right around 2, 3 p.m., but mostly out on the Kansas side. Missouri side still pretty cloudy until about 5 p.m. So we are still going to see mostly cloudy skies through this afternoon. Temperatures warming up to the low 50s, upper 40s across the area. Now looking at our future track, we're watching a little bit of showers pushing through, but again, really most of this is not making it to the surface. We are going to see those overcast skies. Winds are shifting as this little low pressure system completely rotates out of the area. We're going to see winds out of the north. Now by 11:30 to 12, we're going to see these clouds starting to push in. Some of our counties finally getting to see some of that sunlight. Temperatures warming up to the upper 40s, about 48, 49 degrees, 50 in Miami, 53 in Parsons. And then clouds will continue to push a little bit further out into the east. Now, heading into Saturday, temperatures warming up to the upper 50s, low 60s. Still a little bit windy because winds pick right back up on at 7 a.m. on Saturday, and we're going to see winds gusting possibly up to 35, even pushing 40 miles per hour throughout the day on Saturday, but it is going to be mostly sunny. Now heading into Sunday, clouds do increase later in the evening, but during the day, it's going to be mostly sunny, looking fantastic. Temperatures warming up to the mid 60s, mid to even upper 60s in some areas, and then we are going to see those clouds pushing in. Now, starting Monday, we're having winds out of the south, but a little low pressure system making its way, so a warm front actually starting off with our rain chances. This is Tuesday at noon. We're going to see winds coming out of the south and some of this rain moving out of the south as well, and that's just light showers, drizzle, overcast starting Tuesday and then continuing into Wednesday. That's typically what a warm front brings us, is just days of drizzle and overcast and dreary conditions. And then heading into Wednesday afternoon, there's our cold front, so the system runs right back out of the southeast. Stronger rain or heavier rain, not really expecting a severe threat, but that's going to be clearing out Thursday morning by about 8 a.m. Outside of that, it is going to be a great weekend and start to the week. We are clearing out of clouds, temperatures warming up to about 50 degrees today, 60 on Saturday, 65 on Sunday, 56 on Monday, a little bit cooler, and then we'll go cooler on Tuesday with that warm front bringing a warmer Wednesday before we cool back down for the rest of the week and into the weekend. That's Look at Your Forecast. We'll be right back. Well, several pickleball players, including a retired EMT, are being hailed heroes.
A man who went unconscious while they played pickleball. Fox's Jeremy Toms has more.
The popularity of pickleball seems to be ever growing across the country, but how has it taken on a higher meaning here in Sandy? I'm Jeremy Toms, and I'm talking with one club who says their community served to save a life.
I got hooked, and I've been playing nonstop ever since.
It's a great sport because it still can be fast and you still have strategy.
Club Pickleball USA welcomed hundreds of visitors and new members in 2024 alone.
Once I figured racquetball was hurting my back, I needed something else.
These three former tennis players love the balance that this game brings.
So you can play to whatever level you want.
The tournaments here at Club Pickleball can get pretty competitive. Oof. I'm learning that the hard way, but they never knew just how serious it would be come December 5th.
I was ambassadoring the event. There were 28 people. It's what's called a round robin.
And I saw Kevin turn, a ball had hit over his head, and he took a turn, and next thing I know, he went down.
I just couldn't get up. I couldn't move. I answered 2 questions before I passed out.
In his first tournament at the club, Kevin Newman went into cardiac arrest on the court.
When I got to Kevin, Kevin was already in full arrest. He wasn't breathing.
Retired EMT Catherine Reinartz and several others jumped into action.
I have a retired anesthesiologist keeping his airway open, and I call for an AED.
Catherine then announced and said, anybody who's got, CPR training, please get in the line.
Mara Feinschreiber was one who answered the call. She says those minutes felt like hours.
I didn't think we were going to get him back.
But within 2 hours, they got a call from the hospital.
He had pulled through, looks like everything was going to be fine.
These bystanders say having an on-site AED is critical, and it's what saved Newman.
You can do CPR forever and ever and ever, but to shock the heart back into a normal rhythm, you have to have one.
After all the CPR Newman received, the hugs still hurt, and he's still hesitant to start playing again.
It'll be a little nerve-wracking.
But Newman says he's found a new family on these courts. Maybe they even rise above family.
There were angels that day when I played pickleball. 6 or 8 angels right there, watching over me.
I just think, I hear stories, and it really is so incredible how people can just jump into action, and everyone turns out like okay, and it's really just, it's a miracle.
Absolutely. It's great to see right people there at the right time, and I'm just glad to know that everyone is okay in that situation.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, coming up, residents in Columbus, Kansas found themselves detouring after a train derails.
And we have a warmer weekend ahead of all the clouds that are clearing out. Now we'll be right back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:28. I'm Elise Snowy. Authorities are cleaning up from a train derailment in Columbus, Kansas yesterday afternoon. There are no reports of injuries, and the crash is impacting the railroad crossings on Kansas and High School Avenue. The crossings were blocked for a few hours while they worked to move the cars back onto the tracks. And yesterday, the USD 250 Foundation recognized 30 teachers from Pittsburgh School District with grants totaling more than $28,000. The ceremony took place at Pittsburgh High School in the Collaboration Room at 4 p.m. Foundation President Don McNay and Vice President John Bartlow celebrated the recipients and provided insight into the grant program. Attendees had the opportunity to interview the winners and board members and snap photos. Alumni from Cherokee County who graduated from Pitt State recently gathered for an event featuring guest speaker John Levins, interim associate dean of the Crosslands College of Technology. The meeting provided updates on the university's upcoming plans and offered networking opportunities. The event was also open to the public with a $12 registration fee, encouraging both alumni and community members to connect.
And I like it. I come to each one that I'm invited to. Cherokee County does their own, as do the other counties, and I like the people. I like to visit. They bring Southeast Kansas chicken.
Pitt State has 6 more gorilla gatherings scheduled until March. Well, kindergartners at the Columbian Elementary School in Carthage celebrated a milestone yesterday. Staff and students took a look back on their first 100 days of the school year. The celebration featured a variety of fun activities and crafts, all using the number 100.
The kids work really hard and they need to be celebrated for the work that they do. It's so important for us to recognize that 100 is a big number, it's a big thing, and we've worked really hard to get to where we are.
All 5 classrooms took part in yesterday's celebration. Now let's head over to Lindsay for a quick look at your forecast.
Well, current conditions, 43 out in Joplin, overcast skies, and winds are shifting out of the west to south to northwest. Now, heading into the rest of the morning, 9:30, we're going to see winds start to pick up 15 to 20 mile per hour wind gusts, and then stronger winds push in 25 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts throughout this afternoon. Now those winds are going to continue to shift further east, and then by 7:30, 8 p.m. we're going to see winds really start to die down until tomorrow morning. Now overall, we're going to see overcast skies throughout the rest of the day today. However, they do start to clear out by mid-afternoon to late afternoon. Planning the rest of your morning, it's going to be cloudy. Pretty much that's all we're seeing is just the overcast skies. Like I said, though, winds picking up after about 9 a.m. and then temperatures starting to warm right back up to the mid-40s by noon, and then getting up to the upper 40s for our high. But with the overcast skies, it's going to keep us a little bit cooler for the day, and then we are heading into an even warmer weekend with the sunny skies. They do return. Now, I'm going to have a full forecast coming up.
Now, in the wake of the D.C. plane crash, the families may have to face even more trials like estate funds and funeral issues. Therefore, we decided to talk to local professionals about how to make the transition much smoother for your family if you happen to lose a loved one. KOAM's Lonnie Walton has the story.
We typically liken it to was our response to the Joplin tornado.
Stephen Dartfeld is the owner of Dartfeld Funeral Home. He says death is not a stranger to him. Being a former first responder and now a funeral director, he's helped many people through hard times.
The identification process there through DNA and dental records, and getting all of those individuals identified. And
Dartfeld says the best way for families to deal with the loss of a loved one is to be prepared, meaning having a written document.
Maybe if you have 3 or 4 kids, make a copy for each of them so they all have a copy.
Lawyer and owner of Modern Business and Estate Planning Law, LLC, Jacob Addison, agrees. He says,
whenever you die and you have not told the world who you want to be your beneficiary, then the world has no idea who that asset should go to.
Addison says these beneficiaries solve a lot of headaches.
Those transfer your accounts, your cars, all of the remainder of your assets to your intended heirs.
Dartfeld says him and his family have a wealth of knowledge.
All of our staff has experience in either law enforcement or firefighting, EMT. Of course, our family used to operate an ambulance service.
Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Adamson says if you don't get these things in order while you're able to, it could take up to 2 years or more to resolve the issues. Now to look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Shannon Becker joins us with his big 3 stories of the week. Well, welcome back. We've got Shannon Becker in the studio with his big 3 news stories of the week. Good morning. Happy Friday to you, Shannon.
Happy Friday. Is that what we say?
I don't know.
Yeah,
that's what I always say because I'm happy it's Friday.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Let's take a look at the big 3 stories this week live and local. What's happening where you live. Baby boxes. This is Joplin Fire Station number 7. And Joplin Fire Chief Gerald Izell led the, I guess you could say, ceremony where they dedicated a baby box, a Missouri Safe Haven baby box. There are now 4 in the state, and in fact 2 of them are right here in the Joplin area, if you can believe it.
Yeah.
So they dedicated that in the morning, and then in the afternoon, here's Carthage Fire Station number 2, which is located just on I-49. You can see it right there in the middle, in the front of the building. You can see that from the road.
Wow.
So it's a way that maybe people don't realize, but someone can give up their newborn child child up to
Yes.
45 days old without any repercussions as long as there's no abuse.
Okay. Yes.
So it's maybe an easier way, I guess, to give up your child, because you can do it at any police station, any fire station, but maybe this is a little more non-confrontational.
Absolutely.
You can read more
yes.
about the amazing stories that they can tell also about the Safe Haven baby boxes. KOAM News Now on our website. Our number 2 story. This was a serious crash near Fidelity. The vehicle right there, that black vehicle, crossed the center line and struck the other one, Camaro, head on. Happened over the weekend. The crazy thing about this, it was a distracted driver, but not by a phone, but by the maps on their screen in the car.
Which I totally understand that. I mean, they're big screens.
They are.
They're like big phones.
I know. So not laughing, but it's
yes.
mind-blowing to think. Admitted that they were distracted. They were from California and traveling, which of course that can happen.
That's a horrible
so
crash.
if you need to maybe use those directions, obviously pull over. Missouri
Yes.
now, you're not supposed to have your phone in use while driving. Our number 1 story, KOAM News Now, Joplin News First, an armed robbery at Darla's Liquor. Now Darla's is a longtime tradition on the state line.
Yes.
They're between Oklahoma and it's on the Missouri side. This is the man they're looking for. They clean these photos up for you. They are seeking this male white individual, armed robbery. He had a weapon, took the money from the cashier, but then went around the counter and then assaulted the cashier, pistol whipped him. It was a violent assault.
Yes.
He was hospitalized for a short time, the clerk was, but he is recovering, and they are still asking for more information. It happened late last Friday. Our bonus story of the week, I heard you talking about it.
Yes.
It's going to be great weather, Lindsay says, and it's the Art Con. So this is something that I didn't have growing up.
Yes.
You know, all of us geeky kids like me, we just, we're geeks or whatever. I don't know, but geek is cool now. They'll have esports, they'll have cosplay, they've got panels, they've got different celebrities that are coming in. There's Izzy B, he's a writer here in the area. He'll have some of his books, I believe, there. Great guy. So if your kids are interested in this sort of thing, it's a tradition.
of course.
I want to say it's 6 years now they've been doing it. In Neosho, sponsored by Neosho Arts Council. It's ArtCon tomorrow from 10 until 5.
Yes, it's such a cool event to have in Southwest Missouri. We had Neosho Arts Council on yesterday.
Yeah,
We were
I
just
saw.
talking about the event.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
So, best of luck to them, and hopefully you can check it out. Well, Shannon, thanks so much for being with us this morning. Happy to have you as always. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Well, taking a look at downtown Pittsburgh, you can see it's still a little bit foggy, but the view, we can see visibility about 7 to 8 miles, so it's not too bad. Our dense fog advisory has been lifted, but we are going into the day. Overcast skies and a little windy as well, so winds picking up 15 to 20 miles per hour throughout the morning, so this is about 9:30. Then as we head into later in the afternoon, winds gusting 25 to even 30 miles per hour, especially out there on the west. That's early this afternoon. By later this afternoon, winds on the east are going to be gusting 25 to 30 miles per hour, and then winds do start to die down after that. Now, heading into the rest of the afternoon, we've got these overcast skies. A little bit of a shower still pushing further south, but that's still out there near Elk and Chautauqua County, not quite in our general area, but we are still going to see those overcast skies. So starting your morning off, you're heading out to work, you're heading out to school. Temperatures are 44 degrees right now. Overcast skies, winds are out of the west, and then they're gusting 20 miles per hour. Now, this afternoon, winds are going to be out of the northwest, gusting 25 miles per hour. Clouds do start to break up, but temperatures are going to be in the low 50s, upper 40s. So looking at our future track, 8:30, we're seeing that one shower kind of continuing to shift further south. But the most of us are going to stay mostly dry, maybe a pop-up shower or two, but overall not too bad. By noon, we're already getting up to the mid-40s, about 45, 46 degrees. Overcast skies still, maybe a little bit of shower still popping back up in the northeast. But you can see out in the western counties, Yates Center, Parsons, Chanute, Erie, clearing out. Those clouds will continue to shift further south. And then we're looking pretty good for the afternoon. So our high for the day, 48 degrees in Joplin, 50 in Miami, 50 in Parsons, 52 in Parsons. And then those clouds are going to continue to kind of just teeter that border around Kansas and Missouri, but not really clearing out until early Saturday morning. Now, our high temperature for the day getting into about 60 degrees. It's going to be beautiful on Saturday. Still a little bit windy. Now our winds do die down tonight, but they pick right back up as we head into Saturday morning about 7 a.m. We're going to see those winds picking back up, 15 to 20 mile per hour wind gusts, and even throughout parts of the day gusting up to 40 miles per hour. Now Sunday winds die down, but clouds do increase and temperatures warm up to the mid to even upper 60s. So it's going to be a really nice weekend. Heading into Monday, mostly sunny until later in the afternoon. Then those clouds do start to pick up, and then a warm front moves through Tuesday early in the day, so early morning to mid-afternoon. We're going to start to see these rain chances kind of pushing in from the south. Now, with a warm front, we're seeing these days of drizzle and overcast, and it's just going to be dreary for Tuesday and Wednesday. This is now 1 p.m. on Wednesday. That warm front starting to push further north, but gets wiped out by a cold front, and then that cold front with stronger or heavier rain showers will be continuing to push further southeast. Not expecting a lot of rain accumulation with this because it's pretty fast moving cold front, and then that warm front is just a drizzle, not actually heavy rain. And then it does clear out by Thursday morning, and we're gonna have a sunny day on Thursday and a nice weekend, although a little bit cooler next weekend, back down into the 40s. So this weekend looking fantastic, 60 degrees, sunny, a little windy, a little cloudy, but overall a great weekend to get outside. That's a look at your forecast. Let's go over to Elise with Consumer Watch.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. On Consumer Watch this morning, Apple announces financial results for its first quarter, and they are record-setting despite the iPhone's revenue declining. Now, the tech giant says it posted a revenue of $124.3 billion in its recent fiscal first quarter, a 4% increase over the same period a year ago. Apple CEO Tim Cook says products like its Mac computers, iPads, and service divisions increased revenue, but iPhone sales showed a slight dip despite its artificial intelligence launch. Well, thousands of multicolored digital kitchen scales are coming off the shelves due to ingestion hazards. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says more than 349,000 Greater Goods digital kitchen scales are a part of the recall. The agency says the product violates federal regulations because it contains lithium coin batteries that can be accessible by children. Consumers are urged to remove the batteries from the scales and contact the company for a free recall kit. Well, UPS may love logistics, but its love for Amazon might be dwindling. UPS announcing yesterday that it has reached an agreement with Amazon to cut back its shipping by more than 50% by the second half of 2026. The CEO for the Atlanta-based shipping and receiving says Amazon is the company's largest customer, but not its most profitable. UPS says its 2024 revenue came in at $9.1 billion. Business with Amazon made up almost 12% of that total. Demand for UPS's core package operations has fallen from pandemic-era peaks. And those are our top consumer stories. Let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. Well, people across the country look forward to the predictions of Puxatawny Phil on Groundhog Day, but for bakeries in Puxatawny, it brings more than just shadow gazing.
It's an opportunity for them to share their creativity to those who are visiting the area.
We're doing all kinds of pastries. Bakeries in Punxsutawney are firing up their ovens and gearing up for another Groundhog Day, creating special treats ranging from cupcakes to groundhog-shaped cookies.
I have a variety of cookies, groundhog cookies, spicy, iced. We have peanut butter dipped in chocolate.
And for the bakeries, it's not just about getting into the season of Groundhog Day. It's also...
The past week has been really busy. A little overwhelming, but nice.
Groundhog Day brings an extra boost of business for the bakeries during the winter months. While Punxsutawney Phil may be unpredictable, the bakers will have their special treats available to everyone who is visiting.
I just look forward to showcasing like what I love to do best, like our cupcakes, our cookies, and again, the biggest thing for me is just indicating what we do and bringing people in to get fresh, homemade products that are, you know, really, really well received by our local people. So I know that when other people come in, they really seem to enjoy what we have to offer.
Whether you're hoping for 6 more weeks of winter or an early spring, one thing is for certain. Bakeries are ready to serve Groundhog Day treats.
Well, I love the groundhog. I was just saying, he does my job for me. Groundhog Day is this Sunday.
Yeah.
So I guess this Sunday we're going to find out from Phil if we have 6 more weeks of winter or if it's spring. Now, my forecast is we're going to have a few more weeks of winter, but we'll wait to see what Phil says.
Yeah, we'll wait to see what Phil says. And that bakery, all those little groundhog desserts and everything like that was so cute. And I bet you it's so cool to live there during Groundhog Day.
Oh yeah, I bet. I mean, make a whole festivity of it. I love that. But although we're waiting for Phil to make the predictions for spring, I can tell you how the weather is going to be today. Temperatures are going to warm up to the upper 40s today, but this weekend looking even better. We're going to get into the 60s Saturday, 60 degrees, a little windier though. Partly cloudy skies. Increasing clouds on Sunday. The winds die down and temperatures getting up to the mid-60s on Sunday. Now, temperatures do cool down as we start next week, but I mean, this weekend's just looking fantastic. Today, we're just expecting the rest of the clouds to start to clear out by mid-afternoon to early afternoon, and then we're just in store for a beautiful weekend. Now, that's a look at the weather. We'll be right back.
And here's to check up today's top headlines, news you need to know before you head out the door. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation is looking into the injury of an inmate at the Ottawa County Jail. Miami police officers arrested a woman on probable cause for battery of a medical professional while being treated for a possible overdose. At court on Monday, the woman appeared with injuries that included 2 black eyes. The district's attorney's office has dismissed the criminal charges against the woman, saying it does not appear she was able to form a criminal intent at the hospital. Authorities are cleaning up after a train derailed in Columbus, Kansas yesterday afternoon. There are no reports of injuries, and the crash impacted the railroad crossings on Kansas and High School Avenue. The crossings were blocked for a few hours while they worked to move the cars back onto the tracks. And the USD 250 Foundation recognized 30 teachers with grants totaling more than $28,000. The ceremony took place at Pittsburgh High School. Foundation President Don McNay and Vice President John Bartlow celebrated the recipients and provided insight into the grant program. Attendees had the opportunity to interview the winners and board members and snap photos.
Well, temperatures today reaching upper 40s to just about 50 degrees. But as you head into the weekend, 60 degrees on Saturday, a little windier, and 65 degrees on Sunday, a little cloudier. So overall, this weekend is going to be fantastic. It's going to be mostly cloudy today, though, but I'm just looking forward to the weekend.
Weekend's going to be great. And you know what? I haven't really been bothered by the rain either. It's been really nice.
It's been warmer.
Yes.
So it's not that, cold, freezing, just don't want to step outside. It's spring rain.
Yeah.
It has felt like spring. I don't think it'll last, but it has been nice.
Certainly so. Well, 2 dogs got to play in the snow on Monday. Kevin McSweeney took a video of his dogs running in the snow on Monday and posted it on X.
First warm day in a couple of weeks, McSweeney wrote. The girls love playing in the rolling in the soft melting snow. According to National Weather Service data and an alert on X, Northern Colorado had slightly warmer temperatures on Monday.
Oh, that's so cute. It's so cute to see dogs playing in the snow. I know my family dogs, they love playing in the snow, and it's like when it's, winter time, it's like all they want to do.
That is very true. Although from personal experience, my dogs don't like playing in a snowball fight.
Oh, sure.
They don't like getting snowballs thrown at them at all. They will bite at it, but I still think, it's a lot of fun.
Yes.
Just for the dogs, I think, especially with all their fur, they like the cooler temperatures.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.